Hello and welcome to Crystal Crafts with Dee. Today I'd like to show you how I make my temperature quilt. So what is a temperature quilt? It is a quilt that is made up of squares representing the high temperatures of each day. So this quilt can be made up of squares that are knitted or crocheted or patchwork. They can be as big or as small as you like them to be. I chose to do mine as a crocheted square, and this crocheted square, it's a granny square. It has 3 rounds. I just found this a much more manageable size. I can whip it up pretty quick each day, and I'm not going to get snowed under with a whole bunch of patches I need to put together. So I've done a crocheted one, but you can knock yourself out, make them as big or as small as you want. I want a fairly large quilt, so I had to factor in how many squares and how big the squares were as to how big my quilt was going to be. So crocheted square for me. The other thing you need to work out is your temperature range and your colors. So you can have as many or as few colors as you like. Keep in mind though that the more colors you have, the less repeat of the same color block. So if you have 7 days in a row that are 17 degrees Celsius, you're going to have the same color 7 days in a row. So it depends on what kind of look you're going for. I found that I went for bright colors and a lot of them, but you can have as many or as few as you like. It's your blanket. You know what you're after. So yeah, just go for whatever you want to do. So your colors, they can be bright colors, they can be pastels, they can be foresty colors. So you can have like greens and grays and that sort of color, browns. So working out your colors, how many colors you want, what your temperature range, all that sort of thing. And lastly, you need to work out your design. So how big do you want your blanket? Do you want it big? Do you want it small? You need to work out how many number of squares that you need. So I have my little square here. I'll show you how I get this started and how I attach them and everything. So basically what I've done is, there's my temperature range there. I am in Victoria, Australia, so I just found in the 3-degree increments kind of work well for where I am. I originally started with a few less colors and then quickly realized that I needed to add a couple more. So I've done that. I've chosen bright colors, and I've also, because I want that big size blanket, I want it to be, queen size or bigger, I decided to pad it up a bit by doing a monthly block as well. So just to sort of show the beginning of each month, I do a white crocheted square just to break it up and make it a little bit more interesting. So that's my temperature range there. I have also done up a sheet on Excel, and all this is it helps me record the temperatures for each day and for each month, and then I tick them off as I go along. So I just basically did monthly columns and your days and that sort of thing. So very easy to set up. Like I said, you can make it as complicated or as simple as you like. So that's how I did that. Doing up my quilt, I wanted it big. So if you're going to have 365 days a year, or well, this year was a leap year, so 366 days, that's not big enough for me. So I added the 12-month blocks, and I also did some fancy ones on the 4 corners of the blanket and 9 in the middle. So that gave me a total of 391 squares. I have 12 colors, and my I've done up this sheet here where I've worked out my layout. So it's a bit messy in the beginning. You really want to get started and jump in. But if you do the planning beforehand, it just saves yourself in the long run. So I've done up a little grid to work out my rows and my days, and then I can tick them off as I go along. So I have 17 by 23 for mine. Again, 391 squares. So I'll just bring that up a bit closer so you can kind of see my little shorthand bits. Again, as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. I just find this pretty easy to work my way around it. So basically what I do is I look up the high temperature for the day and I coordinate it with my temperature range. So to give you an example, today was 23 degrees. So I look down on my little chart here. So 23 degrees. So I have 21 to 23 degrees Celsius, which is a light blue patch. So I crochet up a little square in light blue. Once I've done that, I get out ones that I have done previous day. So this is what I've been working on at the moment. November 1, November 2, November 3, November 4, November 5, November 6, November 7. So I'm going to attach today's square onto yesterday's square. So yesterday was a bit cooler. What was yesterday? Yesterday was 19. So having a look on my chart, you've got 18 to 20 is a blue square. So I've done my little blue square and attached him already to the row, and all I need to do now is attach my light blue square. So attaching these guys, it really depends on what effect you're going for, what you like doing, that sort of thing. I just do my my little crocheted black joining technique. You can do whatever you like. You can use black, you can use white, you can use whatever you want. Some people do like your mattress stitch, whatever you want. It's your blanket. But I do mine in the black because I like how it makes colors pop. So what I was saying about the blocking, I had 3 days in a row. It's not so big of a deal, but when you're looking on the bigger scale, you can have like a huge section of just the one color. So, but if that's what you're going for, that's fine. So there you go. That's what I've got done so far. And I will be attaching him on there and then waiting for tomorrow's temperature range, high temperature, sorry, and then attaching him onto there and so on until I get, pop him over there, until I get one of these guys. So as you can see, the colors come up. We're in the middle of spring right now, so we're getting colors all over the place, which is fantastic because it's a very colorful time of year. So that one is ready to be attached onto the main part of the blanket. What I love about this is that you are not having this ginormous pile of squares that you have to put together at the end of it. So, and you don't have to organize, I'll put this one here, this one here. It's all done for you based on your high temperatures. So I love how you're making it up as you go along. So it's just, it's like comes up like magic. It's awesome, actually. I really love this idea. I thought, 2020, beginning of the year, I thought, wow, this is going to be a great year. I'm going to make a temperature quilt. And wow, what a year it is. So another thing with these guys here is that you can make this more personalized if you want to. So if you go along and you say, oh, it was my 50th birthday on October 26th, so I'm going to do like a little, like you can embroider something on top, or you can do a crocheted flower and put it on top, or something to mark that particular day. Again, with Christmas, you can put little, I don't know, sequins or whatever you want, little ribbons or whatever to mark Christmas Day. You can have as much fun with it as you want. So, you know, you could really go to town on that one. So there you go. So that's that one. He is ready to be attached to the main blanket, which I will show you in a second. So I'm loving this idea. I love the fact that you're not in control of the colors per se. So with me, there's no way I'd be putting, you know, 3 blues together. I'd be all balancing it out and designing it, and I wouldn't put all these colors together. So I love how the design process is kind of dictated by the weather. So there you go. That's how I do my blanket. And I will show you what I've got done so far. Okay, so that is where I'm up to so far. I need a wide angle lens to get you to see the whole bit, but anyway, you're getting the idea. So I just wanted to show you, if I can come in a bit closer here. This square here, I've done this one on each corner to bulk it up. So basically this is started 2020, so there's my first corner. There's a white patch saying that that's January, and then it's January 1, January 2, January 3, January 4, etc. And you come up to here. This one, another white patch, means it's February, and so on. So again, to bulk it up a little bit and break it up a little bit, I suppose. So I wanted to show you, sorry, I'm going to bring it around this side. So along here, this is what I've done for the center. So I've just basically done the same as the corners, and then I've done a little white one in the middle. And look, I could have used brighter colors, but the effect I was kind of going for was I didn't want it to stand out. I wanted it to kind of move in through into winter and back out again. So it's just something a little bit different. Coming over this section here, if I can get up a bit higher. So I have one row that's ready to attach onto the main blanket, and I'll be using the same method that I used to attach the squares together. So yeah, so that's my blanket so far for 2020. We've actually had a really cold winter, and that's all in the middle there in the purples. So, and we've just had a couple of really hot days just chucked in the middle there. So got some interesting color patterns coming up for spring. So I'll just span over this side. There. So like I said, I wanted a big blanket, and I'm loving the colors. It's coming up pretty good. So there you go. Hopefully I've inspired you to have a go at your own temperature quilt. Have a bit of fun with it, and before you know it, the year is gone and you think, wow, that's my year in color. So thank you so much for watching Crystal Crafts with Dee, and I will see you next time. Bye.